I smoke too much, I drink too much, I tell myself.
All right, a number of great runs are going to be coming up shortly, such as the Tara Stark running Ghostland Yard coming up soon, as well as Sleepyhead 08 and Anarchy with the Super Smash Bros. Run. But obviously we are prepping our next run, so okay. And speaking of runs coming up, like I said, we have a number of great runs coming up, but the run coming up next is none other than Moving Out, and I'm already listening to the soundtrack and I'm getting hyped for it. And the runner being BadassKnight. Badass, please take it away.
Hey everyone, this is Sleepyhead 08. I'll be the commentator for this run. Badass, if you want to introduce yourself.
I like to move it, move it.
Or I'll keep talking, that's okay. So today is going to be a run of the You Don't Got Mail category. So this is actually a shorter category. It's about the first third of the game. And the goal is to unlock the You Don't Got Mail achievement. So we can get started. Time will start on character select.
Straight out of Packmore.
Alright. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the beginning of this game is going to be the tutorial. We're going to start with some mandatory training.
You're probably asking yourself, gee, I don't know anything about moving furniture.
That voice you hear is actually our boss, which you can see on the left of the screen right now.
Is an essential moving
so this game is a lot like, I like to compare it to Overcooked, but with moving furniture. So you can throw boxes into the delivery areas, you can move couches, all that fun stuff. And they're going to throw more furniture and more environment at us over time. We have those fragiles, which will break if we drop them, but you can actually throw them into the delivery area and they won't break.
Always focus on what you're almost there. I believe in you. You did it.
Alright, and just like that, we're finished with training. And we're gonna get into the real game coming up. Alright, so here's the overworld. You can see our boss in the top left. So this is how we're gonna navigate between levels, but we can actually just swap between levels using the L and R triggers. So that's how we're gonna go between most of the levels. So we're going to start here at Holly's home. Very first level of the game. This level's actually individual level run is very contested. But being the first level of a full game run, we're not going to be resetting here like we would usually. Alright, so Badass is going to first deliver all of the light objects, and that's going to make it so that we can handle all of the big objects later with nothing in the way. We're gonna flip the couch there. That's one of the advanced speedrun techs, which if you jump and grab at the same time, the furniture will actually do a little hop, and that saves some time walking around to the doorway. It is possible to throw that table through the windowsill, but it only saves a few seconds, so if you fail it once or twice, then we'll just go around. We'll just clean up some of the stuff on the floor hanging around. We're gonna do the bed. We'll flip the bed out the window. That gives us a clean shot straight to the truck. Oh, if we can avoid the mailbox. And a big part of this game is actually making sure that everything stays organized in the truck, because a lot of the objects you have to drag in by hand, and if they don't fit on the truck, then they don't count as delivered. There are a handful of levels, maybe 2 levels in this run, where that is actually extremely important. For the most part, it's just kind of a nuisance, but it does actually become difficult over time, and especially in the later levels, which we won't see much of in this run. Alright, so we're just gonna finish this last side table. And that's Holly's home. And yeah, it also doesn't matter if we finish in the truck ourselves. We'll just get swept away. So this game actually does have bonus objectives for each level. They're kind of fun things that you can do as like a challenge if you want to increase the replayability of the game. There's a category that we complete all of the objectives, but it's really not necessary to progress through the game in any percent or in this category, so we're just gonna ignore them for the most part. All right, so now we're on to Pepperoni Palace. Lots of pepperoni pizza everywhere. We're gonna start by throwing all the small things out the window. And get them close to the truck, but a big principle in this game is that with the small items, you want to throw them while you're doing other things to save the time that you would have to walk back and forth while the items are in the air. You can also see that we dragged the small couch out the window. That's a little time save there. We're gonna flip the bed. That saves us the time of walking all the way around. Now we do want to be aware because there's a big couch coming up that needs some space on the left side. We're gonna do some more item juggling here. We're gonna try to toss things closer to the truck and then come back for them later. Got some appliances here. Also, if you see that stretchy cord, that actually does tie the object down, so we need to make sure that we hold it long enough that we can yank it out of the socket. And if we throw it before it's released, then it will just bounce back into position. So we're gonna drag the fridge all the way in and go back for the small objects, which we've already conveniently set up for us. And finish the grill. Still making sure to leave that big open space for the couch that you can see right in the middle there. Finish the table. I'm gonna put the TV all the way on the right so that we can finish with this big L couch. This one's a bit of a struggle. Genuinely takes one or two, more than one, 2 or 3 regrabs to get that out the door. So that's to be expected. And we're finished with Pepperoni Palace. So you can see at the end there's actually different target times on the levels. Ideally, we're going to get platinum on every level because we just want to go fast. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It's more just a fun metric to see, like, what's my pace, kind of. So this one will start with the small items in the first room, and we're going to flip the couch right out the window. This one actually saves a lot of time because the alternative is going all the way around. And you'll also notice that there's a table in the corridor. So this actually will save us the difficulty of getting the bed through that corridor. Alright, so what we're going to do on the top of this level is we're actually going to set up all the smaller items. So there's about 5 of them, I believe, that we're going to all set up right in this, right outside area right here. And we're going to toss them over this gate right here, which will set us up nicely when we go back to the truck later. So we're just gonna toss them all over and then head back into the house for the fridge. And we have our friend the chicken following us around. We'll see more of the animals later on when we get to the farm level. We're just gonna clean up all those objects we just tossed over the fence. Move this table out of the way so that we can move the couch. And just drag the remaining big objects. Another L couch on this level. You can see the kind of tight squeeze that's there, so that's why we gotta move the table and the piano out of the way. And we'll finish off with the TV. Alright, we got another gold time. The game actually doesn't unlock platinums for a little bit, since we're kind of at the beginning of the game and it doesn't want to push us too hard. So we've unlocked the VHS Superstore, which is sort of a side thing. It's not really part of the any % run or this run. It's just a fun story experience, basically about the moving company that you're working for. So this one is going to be poolside pad. The main draw being that there is a pool in the middle of the level that you can't fall in or drop any objects in, and so we're going to have to throw everything over. And if you do drop something in, like just happened, it will just reset at its original position. So not the biggest deal, but we do not want to be doing that. And we have these breakable objects, which if they drop on the floor will crack, but we can actually aim specifically at the objects we've already thrown, and that will let them land safely. This suitcase does give a little, it does cause some issues. So all those other boxes that you saw are about the same weight, and they're pretty light, and they get over the pool pretty easily. But the two suitcases are actually, they're actually heavier, so they don't go as far. So they are a little bit more difficult to get over the pool. And we're just gonna try to move all these boxes into the truck. Hopefully without destroying any of the fragiles. Oh! Sorry, I jinxed that. Caster's Curse. So we're gonna have to go back for that later, but not the biggest deal. Alright, so we've got all the boxes in, we'll drag the couch in, and all that's left is that one fragile and this couch on the right. And so as a backup strat, we're going to aim for oh, sorry, I'm glitching. Alright, so we're going to drag the sofa in and then just grab the last object. Cool. Pretty solid. Poolside, pretty normal. And again, you can see we're not even driving around the town, just instant swap to the next level and get started. So we're on to Jerry's apartment. This is actually the shortest level in the game, if done optimally. We're going to toss everything out the window, pretty much, because moving around the back takes a lot of time. So we're gonna line this couch up for a flip, and if we can get it, that saves a lot of time of going all the way around to the door. And we're gonna try to do the same with the TV. TV is a little more finicky. There we go. So again, throwing those fragiles straight into the truck so that they don't break when we toss them. And we're gonna flip this bed out the window as well, because that is a big time save compared to dragging it out the front door. And we're going to drag the bed in while we're actually pushing these small objects with our back, because small objects provide almost no resistance when you back into them. So that will help us with our multitasking and make it so that we don't have to run back and throw those objects in manually. Just a minor optimization, but it does depend on where things end up, and you kind of have to improvise on that. Alright, so we can see the game has finally unlocked the platinum time and said, hey look, you can do the platinum times also. but if you actually look at the top, we already have 3 of them. Yeah, it just kind of goes back and unlocks the ones from previous levels that you've already done. Alright, so now we've got Casa de Cliff. House on a cliffside. We're gonna just toss these things right into the truck. Throw that off the edge and then run back into the house. I'll take this fridge. A little stuck on the extension cord, but no problem. We'll toss the fridge off the edge. Usually you don't get to juggle fridges, but this level is an exception because you're tossing it down a ledge. We're gonna try to juggle all of the small objects into the right side so that we can toss them into the truck from there. We're gonna throw this couch off the cliff and run back for the TV. So a lot of these levels you see are multitasking, and they do have routes associated with them, but ultimately in a run like this, you'll try your hardest to stick to a route, but sometimes things just go in places you don't expect to, and you gotta improvise. So that's also a lot of this game is knowing what to do when things go wrong. So we'll throw the pinball machine and then the arcade machine. We'll see some weird physics interactions there. This game does have a few items that are kind of strange, and the pinball arcade machines are 2 of those very strange items. That ball actually will give us some headaches if we don't trap it in the corner. For whatever reason, the ball has really low traction, and will keep rolling if it's not stuck. So we make a little alcove there before we throw the ball in it, so that we don't have to deal with that later. We'll just clean up all the small things and finish off with the arcade machine. And we'll skip through all the quips, the dialogue at the end of the level. Right, next up is Summer Chalet, which will be a little icy. Gonna have some slippery surfaces here. And basically the main goal of this level is going to be to toss everything down that icy surface and then come back for them later when they're all at the truck, basically. So we're just going to start by cleaning up the room on the left. We'll circle around to the top. We'll move those to the room on the right. And then minor optimization there actually, which is because the 2 boxes are stacked, you can grab the bottom one and throw both of them at the same time, which is cool if you get it. Then we'll clean out the right. Toss these down. And then we're gonna... Ooh. Yeah, the ice does actually affect us as well, but it's possible to jump back up. And then we're gonna have to finish with the bed in the middle. And now we can see we've got a big cluster of items at the bottom. And this level is one of the ones I was talking about, where the truck is very small compared to the amount of items. So Badass is going to try to move things as far into the corners as possible so that we can fit everything. And we're gonna actually take all the big objects first. And you can see, even with like perfect alignment, it just barely fits all the big objects. And now we're just gonna toss all the small ones on top. And we're gonna do the ball last because, again, it likes to roll out. So better not give it that chance. So we've got 3 levels left. Up next is 21 Slick Street. This one has an oil slick over the roads on the level, you can see. And we've got some cars which actually can run us over and can run our objects over as well. Same thing as poolside. If the objects get run over, they will reset to their original position. So we don't want that to happen. We're gonna set this bed up to flip it out the window. Very nice. We'll come back for that later. Right now we're just moving everything out to the front so that we can migrate them to the truck later. And one thing about the oil slick on this level actually is that you can't walk on it while you're holding a big object. Not sure why that is, but it is a minor nuisance that we are going to have to deal with. And you can see one of those objects just respawned. Fortunately, it doesn't lose us that much time because we were still here. But we're gonna flip that couch out the window. And then the TV. And that sheep running around, we are going to have to actually deliver that sheep. So looks like Badass is choosing to leave it until the very end, because if we try to move it into the truck, it will run out. There are some ways you can try to trap it like we did the ball. But ultimately, it's sort of just circumstantial. Like, if the objects line themselves up in the truck, then it'll just go back for the sheep. But it's not really a strategy that we'll go for. Gonna try to make it right before this car right here. And since the sheep is here, we've only got the fridge left. I'm gonna try to deliver this fridge before the sheep runs out. And looks good. It does take a few seconds for the sheep to decide to start moving again, so we do have that luxury of delivering it second to last. But if we had done it first, it would have run away. So now we've unlocked the arcade, which is similar to the VHS Superstore. Gives us some extra levels, but we don't need to do those. They're just for fun. And we also unlocked Moving In, which is an extra game mode where instead of delivering stuff to the truck, we deliver stuff from the truck back into the house. Again, just an extra mode, something fun to do, but we don't need to do that, so we won't. And now we have those chickens I was talking about. So this is Snotsberry Farm, and the entire level is delivering animals. So we're going to see those chickens, we're going to see these sheep again, and we have a new animal, the pig, in the right. And all of that mud is oil slick, has the same physics as the oil slick, so you can see the animals are actually getting stuck in the oil. And also that rake in the center, we're going to have to avoid that because that will, oh, there's another one, that will whack us in the face and cost us a few seconds. Yeah, so this level is pretty hit or miss. Generally you want to get the animals on the bottom of the hay and use the hay as a sort of buffer, so you can see that chicken kind of running around in the back there, but chickens can't jump. So as long as there's a layer of hay guarding the front of the truck, it can't run out. But we're going to attempt to juggle these animals at the top right like we do the rest of our items. So we're going to grab the chicken and then we're going to go back and grab the pig. The issue that we can have is the animals like to run around. So they might just run back to where we just threw them from, which is what the chicken looks like it wants to do right now. But that is purely up to RNG and we can't really control that. The animals will run away from us once we get near them, but in general they just kind of run around wherever. Also you can see the sheep is actually giving Badass a little bit of a rough time because the sheep and the pig are actually very rambunctious on this level, and they will actually, while you're holding them, affect your controls and make it kind of hard to move where you want to. So a little bit of a struggle moving those and tossing them where you want to. So we've got all the animals in the truck, and now we just got the last item, which is the trough. And we should be finished. Nice. One of the most RNG heavy levels in the run. Kind of unfortunate that it's second to last, but it's just something we gotta deal with. And you can see all those animals running around cost us the platinum time. Does not matter, but just a good metric to see like what your relative time is. And now we're going to enter our last level of the run, Packmore River. So after we finish this river level, it's going to unlock the next section of the map and let us travel over the river. And the gimmick of this level is that there's a row of cars and a row of floating wood that we need to travel over. It's a lot like Frogger, which is why there is a frog that will be following us throughout the level. Kind of a cheeky reference. You can see him, I believe he's at the bottom still. There he is, our friend the frog. He's just gonna kind of follow us around. There is a cool strategy that Badass is doing here, which is we can put the suitcase on the couch and move both of them at the same time. so we don't have to juggle the suitcase. Basically, we can just deliver 2 things simultaneously and we don't have to run back. We're going to just toss these boxes right over the river. And then we're going to go back for the 2 bigger objects at the bottom here. As you can see, this level does depend on cycles for the cars and the wood. So sometimes if we don't make a cycle, we're kind of stuck waiting around. And this is going to be the last object of the run. Nice. So now that we've unlocked the rest of the town over the river, we can do what we came here to do, which is to get the You Don't Got Mail achievement. So once we open the river, which we will see a nice animation for. There we go. And the You Don't Got Mail achievement is to run over a specific mailbox, which is all the way in the top left. So time is coming up and it's going to end when we hit this mailbox. So that will be time right there. Yeah, it runs over, so if you guys want to take it away.